I'm Pam Hayes from Hayes Sewing Machine Company, Wilmington, Delaware. Welcome back to our creative videos. And today I'm going to be working with a pattern that is Never Break the Chain. And this one has two different blocks that I'm going to be working with today. They have it where you can make the quilt that you see in the front. And that quilt is a lap size, so it's going to be like 50 by 60 for the lap. They have a bed runner, which is what I'm working with today. And then if you have a panel, so they have a really pretty picture that it's a panel, and then they show you how to do the border around it. And if you're doing the panel one, they do have another block that you're going to work with. They give you instructions in there on how to sew it together. It's very easy. With this is a row for my bed runner. Okay, you're going to have like 8 of these when you're all entirely done. And let's focus on the blocks. All right, so when we're working on the blocks, these are the 2 that you're going to work with. So if you take a look, let me just fold this. All right, this one here is this guy. So you're going to basically just have rectangles and squares, which is wonderful. You can't beat that for easiness. And on this block, you have 3 rows that you're going to piece, and then 2 that are just the traditional long. Mm-hmm. When you're working with the next row, or the next block, it's basically just 2 rectangles put onto a square, same color rectangle, and then rectangles on the side.
Nice.
So just
easy.
that, easy peasy. All right.
And looks really, intricate.
Yes, it looks really complicated, and you tell your friends, oh, it was. It was very complicated.
And we'll back you up, right?
And we'll back you up. There you go. All right, so we're going to basically put the row together. And remember, I'm just showing you 2, but you would be assembly line styling this. The bed runner that I'm doing took 5 fat quarters for the background, for the background, and then for the actual color in the blocks, also 5 fat quarters.
Okay.
So 5 for the background, in my case, the beige.
Mm-hmm.
I did all 1 fabric for the background, but they also will show you a picture of what it looks like if you don't do that. If you have multicolors.
More scrappy look.
More scrappy look. I think both are very pretty, nice to do. So we're going to take, the quilt on the front is all 1 color, to me anyway, it's all 1 color. Mm-hmm. And then the bed runner is more scrappy.
We're going to try and shoot the picture in front here. All right, so that is the background, all 1. And then this one is the background, scrappy.
All right.
That was smoother than I thought it was going to be.
There you go. All right, so you can see the plan is coming together here. All right, so that's what you're going to do. You want to take the time to press it to the dark. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to press it to the dark.
Go to the dark side.
Go to the dark side, yes. All right. So you can see the block is starting to come together. So now at this point, you really can just sew across. You don't even have to worry about matching up points.
Woohoo!
Woohoo, yes. So if you have, if you want to do your quilt tacks, you'll have an opportunity a little later. But not with putting these guys together. All right, so we have that. We're putting this onto here. And all the dimensions and everything will be listed for you in the pattern. And again, what's nice is just rectangles and squares. Alright, so I always lay it back down again, just to make sure I'm putting it on the correct side.
There you go.
Yes, never mind.
I was just thinking it's, in a lot of ways, it's a nice little double check if you're piecing two pieced rows together. Stop!
Yeah. That's pretty much it on this block. All right, and then one final bit. And this one is done. So you can see the block is not hard to do. It's kind of a nice mindless putting together.
I like how the pattern does it for a border around a panel.
Yep.
Or even, you could use it as a border pretty much around anything.
Yeah, you could have a plane in the center that you were going to do ruler work or something.
You also could just do a row, like a single row of it, but make it longer, and it would make a great table runner.
Yep.
Be really interesting, kind of a modern look.
Yeah, and this one, the bed runner that I'm doing is not going to have a border around it. The blocks go to the edge.
Okay.
And you just have the binding. Of course, you can always change that.
Always put a border on, huh?
Always put something on.
I like it where it goes right to the edge.
Yes, it's nice to have it modern.
You know, it's kind of a modern look.
All right, and I'm just giving it a press. All right, and that is the block.
Nice.
Okay, now, next block. Also super simple. Okay, this one here you have to piece. You're going to have the plain block in the center. All right, and then we're going to add this to the other side. And again, I'm going to give this a quick press, and I'm going to press to the dark, in this case my yellow.
I like the fabric that you chose.
Yes, it has like clocks and gears. Yeah, I thought if you were doing it for a guy or just a modern, somebody that likes modern stuff.
Yeah, even kind of steampunk.
Yep. All right, so we have, all right, so we're going to go I have these. And line this up. And then we're going to put the border on the side. So like I said, when I was doing I think it requires like 40 blocks, because you notice the blocks aren't particularly wide, okay? I just did them, assembly line style, and it went really fast. All right, we're going to give it a press.
I'm standing here doing quick math, looking at your bed runner. So 40 total blocks, 20 of each style.
Yes.
Okay, good enough.
And well done you.
Well, it worked out well. Two rows have 5 each, right?
Yes.
So how many rows do we have? Even I can do that math in my
Well
head.
done you. Well done you. All right, so I'm going to line these up, and you'll notice they do alternate rows. Okay, so if you can take a look, so when I line this up, you'll notice that one row,
Give me just a second to widen out. There.
sure,
Okay.
one row starts with a more, what I call the boxy looking, and then you see how then the long, and you see how it alternates, and then the next row will start with the rectangle. Okay? So at this point, you should have this block area to line up. And because we've kind of pressed them to the dark, it should nestle well. This is where you can absolutely do your quilt tacks.
Or you can just nestle it together and sew it.
Or you can just nestle together and sew.
I kind of got that. That's what you were doing.
That's okay. Like I said, we all have.
If you did that technique all the way through, it looks beautiful. So go for it. Keep going
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, it just worked really well.
That's the advantage of paying attention to your pressing as you go through. Saves you some time at the end.
Yep. So I have that one, and then I'm going to do this one down at the bottom. So you can see, again, it's just a nice flow. And you can see where it gets its name. Never break the chain.
Mm-hmm.
And again, just try to nestle them together. All right, so now, when I was doing my adding the rows together, basically what I was doing is every other row I pressed towards my pins, okay? Press towards whatever mark you have. So basically, for me, the odd rows were pressing towards my pins. And you'll notice I put a lot of pins in. Instead of getting a piece of paper and writing 6 or 7
Okay,
or
gotcha.
8, I put
Sure.
that many pins in.
Good enough?
It's just my little quirk. So I go and I'm going to press my blocks Because remember, this is number 8, so I'm pressing away from the pins.
Got it.
And before I sew them together, I just also wanted to show you, it would look kind of cool.
Oh yeah, that would
If you
be a
did it that way.
fabulous table runner.
You can add a border to it. You know, this pattern has a lot of really neat options to work with. I also think maybe just having 3 or 4 neat tote bag.
Oh, cool.
A bigger bag.
I like that.
You know, so I think you could get a lot of nice stuff out of it.
On the table runner, if you did like a 2-inch border of the cream on the side, then it would look like the chain was floating in the middle there.
Yeah.
On there.
Yeah. Like I said, it has
lots of possibilities.
Lots of possibilities. This particular pattern is really nice. All right, so I'm going to count my. There you go. I should have put the piece of paper. No, this is the 8. Okay. All right.
We believe that you can count up to 10, so we're.
Yeah. Didn't need to take my shoes off or nothing.
You got it.
All right. So at this point, I'm going to add 6 and 7 together. And really, the only thing you have to match is the actual corners for and because I've kind of had one seam allowance going one way and one the other, it should be pretty good. Again, could you go and do your quilt tacks? Yep. And we're just going to butt them together. Okay, and then we have one final block to sew on. And this guy is, these 2 rows are sewn together. All right. So now, we would sew this one together. Let me just do that for you real quick. And it's done. The length of the bed runner is basically 25 inches in width and 80 in length.
So it would cover the top or foot of a full-size bed.
Yep.
And if you wanted to do a queen or a king, you could just add a few rows.
Add a few rows. Like I said, and that's the nice thing with this. All right, so again, we're going to get it lined up.
I think it's sweet that they call it a bed runner, because in my house it would be a cat blanket. Because
True.
because whatever I lay on my bed is a cat blanket. You know, be it a sweater or a quilt.
What do you mean? You didn't actually lay them out for them?
Oh, you couldn't tell it by then.
and we are done. So, let me lay it out for you here. I think that looks really sharp.
Oh yeah, Pam, that looks great. Awesome.
All
Let me
right.
come around here.
And we hope you've enjoyed the project, and we will see you next time.